Kahelo, mon maire, chers collègues ambassadeurs, députés et sénateurs, mesdames et messieurs les conseillers des Français de l'étranger, mesdames et messieurs les consuls honoraires, Cordial Herren August Nafranca, de Onto on Ohus Eron, Volcher Acquer, Roev Elo Bastille, Oncho Inordini, Hoc Ambassador de Franca. The celebration of Bastille Day today is like no other we've had. We have been hit by a pandemic that has disrupted our lives, stolen too many lives in Ireland, in France, and throughout the world. I thought we would not be able to hold a reception this year, but then in Ireland, thanks to our common efforts to contain the spread of the virus, the authorities have authorized small-scale gatherings. So here we are, just a few of us, at a good distance from each other, in beautiful Irish weather, celebrating the French National Day together. Who could have predicted at the start of the year the upheaval brought about by the pandemic? 30,000 deaths in France, over 1,700 deaths in Ireland. These staggering figures would have been much worse had it not been for the extraordinary efforts of doctors, nurses, and other health workers who have cared for the sick, putting their own health at risk, and have saved and continue to save many lives. This morning in Paris, the military ceremony paid tribute to the medical personnel and to all the actors mobilized in the fight against COVID-19. It honored in particular the participation of our armies in the fight against the pandemic through Operation Résidence. And here in Ireland, many of those who have helped this embassy during the crisis are here today. Doctors, psychologists, citizens who have translated the word solidarity into action, and we're immensely grateful to you. Je suis également très reconnaissant aux conseillers des Français de l'étranger, à nos conseillers, à nos consuls honoraires et à toute l'équipe de l'ambassade qui se sont dépensés sans compter pour venir en aide à nos concitoyens. The challenges we face to confront the aftermath of this pandemic are immense. The European Union may rise to the occasion with an unprecedented proposal of the European Commission, supported by France, Ireland and many member states, to borrow 750 billion euros to spearhead the recovery, mutualized repayment over the next decade. This may prove a seminal development in European integration and solidarity. Let us hope our leaders will come to an agreement on this proposal in a couple of days at the European Council. In this new context, let me share with you some thoughts about France and Ireland. First, I can now say without doubt that France is Ireland's closest neighbour in the EU. The Brexit saga has lasted over 4 years and has dominated discussions during my 3 years here in Ireland. The solidarity that France, along with the other EU 26, have shown to Ireland has been unshakable. It isn't quite over yet, but we have made strides since last year. The border issue with Northern Ireland has been resolved with a withdrawal agreement. The devil is in the details of implementation, but we're hopeful. We have now a few months left to agree on the future relationship between the UK and the EU. Again, we, the EU 27, have shown how united we are in these negotiations. Second, our bilateral ties are getting ever closer. Bilateral trade has increased by 11% in 2019 compared to the year before. And the Celtic Interconnector project has made huge progress in the last year. This €1 billion energy project will connect our two countries with an electric cable 500 kilometers underwater by 2026. It will have the power to provide electricity to 450,000 homes in Ireland and will boost renewable energies on both sides. It has enjoyed tremendous support from the French and Irish governments since its inception, with a renewed sense of purpose since Brexit. And the EU has allocated some €530 million towards its completion. It will be Ireland's physical link to France and the continent, a symbol and material proof of the closeness between our two countries. Third, Ireland and France share a common vision at the very heart of Europe and common values. Among them, the protection of the environment and climate action. France has enshrined into law its target to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, and Ireland's new government has set out ambitious targets for the reduction of CO2 emissions. The Irish experience of citizens' assemblies has elicited much interest in France. Only 3 weeks ago, an assembly with 150 citizens, inspired by the Irish model, delivered a report after 9 months' work to President Macron on ways to reduce our carbon emissions. It will lead to new legislation and to one, perhaps two, referendums. We also share a common commitment to multilateralism. We are delighted that Ireland will be a partner at the UN Security Council for the next 2 years. Congratulations on your election. You will have much to offer to the Council, with your huge experience in peacekeeping, your capacity to speak to all, big and small, your staunch belief in the virtues of multilateralism. And finally, on a more personal note, this will be for our family our last Bastille Day in Ireland, as we're due to return to Paris at the end of the summer. It is also the last Bastille Day celebration for my deputy, Lionel Paradisi-Coulomb, and Marion, and his wife Marion, who are heading off to Buenos Aires, if there's a plane to take them, and for our political councillor, France Coidon, who have all been very trusted collaborators and have contributed to the efficacy of our work as a team. These last 3 years have been a magnificent journey, somewhat upended in the last months, but we will leave this country much enriched by its culture, by its people, and not least by the musical talents we have the pleasure of discovering throughout our stay, some of whom are here with us today. And so I'm happy to introduce soprano Maureen Buick, who will perform the European, Irish and French anthems, accompanied by her husband, concert pianist and teacher extraordinaire, Tony Byrne, and the brilliant accordionist, Dermot Dunn, who will delight us with some French and other tunes. So many thanks as always to my team for preparing this event. Ere Abu, and Europe Abu, and Rank Abu. Amare and Cordius, Ere de Aaron Augustin Rank. Kapila Mahagur.